Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here, Messenger of the Covenant, Breaker of the Seven Seals. Welcome. The Holocaust, brothers and sisters. Boy, would they like to erase that history. They love to erase that history. Because first time they drag you in there, let me see your rap sheet. I want to see your rap sheet. See, oh man, you got a rap sheet as long as my arm. See, don't care about what's happening right now. See, don't care what's happening right now because they're going to judge you based on your rap sheet. See, because you may be innocent or guilty now because they don't pull the rap sheet out at sentencing time. They put out, right, determine whether they're going to charge you or not. See, but that's not the case with them. Oh man, CRT, man, we don't talk about that stuff, man. That's history, we don't talk, man. That's future, past, that's past, forget about it. You see, they're liars. They're no good liars. They went out to steal, kill, and destroy. They're no good liars. See, hey boy, let me see a rap sheet. And they have no business of charging us for anything. We asked to come over here. We asked, like, you drag somebody in your house, you starve, and then you're still charged for stealing. But did you ask you bring me in here? We asked to come over here. We was free before we came over here. We had freedom before we came. We had our language, we had our culture, we had our people, we had our names, we had our land. You took all that away from us. Liars. And then talk about we free to do what? To kiss your ass? To keep turning your shit into gold? We ain't free. The Holocaust. Oh, CRT. That's a theory now. These people are sick. And they're crushing, and we're going to talk about that. Because keep on, because we sick. You're sick. You're sick. You're sick. The Holocaust. Oh man. That's history, man. Forget about that, man. That's a long time ago. You got Farrakhan people. I mean, I went to one there, a little meeting, and the Negro guy talking about Negro, but slavery was 40 years ago. Are you stupid? It started 40 years ago. See, this is that damn Farrakhan stuff. He dumbed down people over there. They're all stupid. Slavery was 40 years ago. Plus, was it slavery? That's all it was? Have you looked up the definition of slavery, Mr. Farrakhan? Because your fathers are the ones that enslaved us. It's your fathers are the ones that enslaved us on both sides of the fence. Because he said your grandparents, your paternal grandparents were white Portuguese Jews. So you're on both sides of the coin, white and Jewish, and you both, right, enslaved us and tormented us for over 40 years. First, you did the ultimate. You took everything away from us and stripped us down to nothing, to beast. How do you make a person a beast? How do you turn a person into a beast? Easy. If you can separate them from language. If you can separate them from language, they're on the level of the beast. Because they have no way to think. You need language to think. If you remove the language, they cannot no longer think. They can only act on instinct. You need language. I keep explaining that to you. Without language, you cannot think. You have to have vocabulary, you have the words. You can tell how deep a person is thinking by the strength of their vocabulary. They don't care what language they're dealing with. But if they remove that from you, they reduce you to a beast. And that's exactly what they did to us. Removed our language from us. They separate our children from us and removed their language from them, right? And gave them their little scripted language, just enough to say yes or no, some mass or whatever, period. And if you was outside that range of thought or vocabulary, you was killed immediately because they know you was trying to think. See? Just like mathematics. You need to think the mathematics, You need words. What's one or two? You need something. You need language. And they took that away from us. By doing that more than anything else reduced us to beasts. And the only way they can do that, they'll take the children away before the children can learn anything. See? And they make sure you never learn anything. And the children, right, they're going to listen to parents and stuff. Parents didn't know anything. And slave master's very careful what he say around these children. So therefore, they will never learn language. You see these so-called slave movies, they talking like they went to Harvard or Yale. Or you watch some of these slave movies, you think these man, they went to college. But the real truth is, they didn't have any language at all. If they thought you was really a beast, why would why would you hide books from a dog? Why would you hide books from a dog? What's the point? You can hit the dog on the head with a book. You can put the dog living in the library. He can jump on books and everything else. It's not going to matter. It's not going to do him any good. I don't care how many books. So why would they prevent us from having books? Because they knew what was better than them. They knew the possible would happen if we got hold of the books and knowledge. Brothers and sisters, you don't know any of this stuff because they've already reduced your vocabulary to dog. Hey ho, hey bitch. See? Say less. And that's the big one now, say less. Man, just think about that one. They tell you right there, don't say nothing stupid. You ain't gotta say nothing, just be stupid. Just say less. Should be saying more. And they come to these stupid styles. You don't realize where these styles are coming from. Where these styles coming from? They come from them. To make you look stupid. These styles are coming from us. Kids walk around now with slippers on. Like they walk like they getting ready to go to bed and stuff. The cops put out, they talking about, oh, you want to defund the police now? So they put that out there. So you gotta chase your ass. How fast you gonna run those damn slippers? And your pants hanging down. How you gonna run with your pants hanging down? See? And then you want somebody to respect you and your ass hanging out? What kind of respect you? Some of these, I ain't putting our sisters down, but they teach you that. And so then you walk around and you can't understand nobody respect you and you got your ass hanging all out the place and everybody's seeing everything. I mean, what is there to see? And they whistling, you get mad. If you don't want people to buy, stop advertising. You have to advertise in your whole thing. You go to the gym now and you can see everything. I mean, you can see it all. Their pants so tight, it's all up the crack of the ass. You see it all. And, oh man, that's sexual harassment. We're going to talk about these things, brothers and sisters, but the hard cost. See? That's what it was. That's what it is. 64 years to prepare you to take your language, everything from you. See, it took a while because they take the children, children grew up, right? They make sure you had no language, no connection to your parents whatsoever. You didn't even know you had parents. You didn't even know you had parents because they separate, or as the white folks told you. That gorilla could have been your parent for all you know. See, there's your daddy over there. How you know the difference? They may have told you that. I'm pretty sure they did. You see? So you had no connection to anything. And all you had to obey master. And they torment you physically. And the greatest torment was the mental torment. And you don't get that one. You still suffer from that right today. You're still suffering from that right now because you're under that mental spell right now because of religion. Because what that religion telling you, if you don't obey them, you're going to hell infinitely. There's no end to it. What in hell is that? If that's not mental torture, what did they tell your children that? And do you understand what effect it has on a child's mind? He come into existence and the first thing he says, hey man, if you die, you go, man, even me. That has such an impact on me. I mean, I had to fight that thing. I said, man, I didn't do the impossible. I had to do the impossible. Because you were told you can't question it. I had to question it. I had to take a chance. I said, hell, I'm going to find out. I'm going to take a chance with this. Because I'm not going to go and just slip that. I'm going to reject, take a chance. If I die anytime, I'm going to hell for it. No, I'm going to take a chance. And I'm going to look into this. Because if I can't prove it, I'm going to back off of this. Because that stuff was worried on my mind. As a child, I was worried on my mind. That all that pressure of if I make a mistake and die, I'm going to endless And they tell you, I tell that to a child, it's enough to tell to an adult. I had some asshole sneak up on me in a gym a few years back. Oh, devil. I'm 73 years old. I'm about 70 back then, right? You see the gray hair and everything. He's up on me. Hey, bro. Bro, first of all, I ain't your bro. See, I don't play that crap. And I don't be fist bumping with him. See, I ain't two-faced. Hey, man, you know, if you suddenly die, man, and you ain't saved, you would be in hell forever. Man, ooh, boy, ooh. He caught me off guard. Because he should have got brain with one of those weights. He should have had his brain spilled all over that damn floor. Tell me that shit. You see? That's what he should have got. That's what he should have got. You see? Because what he was doing, he was attacking me psychologically. He might as well stick a dagger in my heart. He would attack me. And you don't understand the difference. Because he's putting it in my mind right now, at that age, right? I mean, I could die any second. And you don't think that means anything? And you don't think it has an effect on some people? If you die any second now, sir, you could know. Ooh. That caught me off guard. Because I've been in jail right now. Because I was definitely gonna bring that dummy ass. That was you don't even understand. That's a total threat, and that's the reason why they got people in church. And that's why they got them outside of reality, because they believe that stuff, and that's why it's mostly appealed to women. And so the women drag them into the church with that stuff. See, because they're scared. It's fear. So the fear wasn't just psychologically, it was physically in every respect. And that was the greatest one of all, because there's no religion on the planet that teaches that kind of stuff. They taught it for you, and they didn't teach that stuff to themselves. That stuff, that's why the lesson says that Christianity is only 551 years old. You say, well, Christianity, no, it ain't. This form of Christianity is over 551 years old, and that's when they start teaching that stuff about eternal, everlasting hell with no break. Because that was the whole idea of finishing us off, destroy psychologically, and worked. So it not destroys physically, but psychologically, and most of our people still in it. Because if you took that fear out of them, they would not be in that church. And the preachers, he making money off of that fear. Because he claimed Jesus talking to him. Oh, well, Jesus told me this, and Jesus told me that, and Holy Spirit told me. Holy Spirit told me a damn thing. See, I wonder what the Holy Spirit will tell them when the war breaks out, and his prisoners are sticking broomsticks up there behind, making popsicles out of them. I wonder what they're going to say the Holy Spirit tell them then. See, because this is going to happen. See, because it tells you that with those reverends and everything, said they're going to reap. Like Muhammad said, he would be in their shoes. Their shoes made of gold and silver and diamonds. Because when the truth comes out, right? Chef O'Dollar, T.A. Jakes, Farrakhan along right one with them. They all are being made popsicles out of. See. They're gonna be highly freeze, so they ain't gonna melt real fast. They're gonna melt there for a while. See, yeah, you're gonna be up there for a while. See, because you're promoting that lie. You're a demon promoting that lie. God, people have total fear. They terrorized us for over 40 years. It took 64 years to do it, right? To turn to Negro butts, programmed to self-destruct. We got total self-destructive behavior. Leave anything Master tell you, tell us we're free. How the hell are we free? Love him no matter what he does to you, so you love him. We Christians, man, we forgive him. All the stuff done to us, we're supposed to forgive him, guys. Just forgive you, Master. And not to think. And people don't think, well, how your kids not doing well in school? You already told them not to think. Don't ask no damn question. Well, Mama, what about Jesus? Hey, man, we still have, don't be questioning no question about Jesus. You already told them to stop thinking. And you don't even realize it. They said, how can you do good in school? How you do in school when you got them believing in fantasy? You ain't teaching them mathematics. You start them off teaching them in the fantasy. Right? And nothing will happen unless Jesus make it happen. So why in the hell are they going to study for? All they got to do is pray to Jesus for their grades. And you don't even see you doing that. You Farrakhan, oh crap. Well, now He ain't been teaching anything for the last, but bullshit for the last 40-some years. Been getting money. Pay, how you get so rich? Money's put me into eye, but I ain't heard him say had money particularly for Farrakhan. So where's he getting it from? See? So he been first we tell him never gonna happen to America. He gonna make America repent. And now you see hell's breaking loose, right? No, well, there's gonna be a war, right? See, and it's gonna spread over Europe, and they might have some time, but America's not gonna be invaded, and we're gonna stay here and all this bullshit. See, and as soon as I mean, it's almost like Christianity now. That Christians got in there and they corrupted it. See, that's why it's not. Muhammad said he only wouldn't know them; they wouldn't know him. We can talk about the mind war, brother and sister. But they terrorized us. Total terror. How you maintain a Holocaust with terror? 24/7, 466. And like I said, they maintain it with, with terror, but, they terrorize your mind. Your mind. Our people are still suffering from that terror. They're still suffering the mental and the physical terror. They're still afraid, right? They make sure the police keep you every now and then, right? They get one got some very horrific thing. Make sure you realize that, hey, they got you still, they still control you. Say you free how? You don't have your name. What's your name? Chicken Pop? Denzel Washington? Is that your name? That name they gave you. Do you have your own land? I got a piece of land out in Georgia somewhere. Who you paying for it? Who you paying for it? See? You got your culture? Soul food. Blah, blah, blah. Really? Who gave you that? Who gave you soul food? Shillings? They fed you shit. They call it shit. That's how much they despise your dumb ass. They say we still call it shit. Just take S off and put the C there. And that's exactly what it is. You know that's exactly what you're still eating it. But that's all they gave you to eat. Maximum profit, minimum overhead. They had to give you something. So they gave you shit. Well, they were throwing away before. And you say, are you free? Free to do what? Free to do what? If you don't obey them, you still go to jail. So what are you free for? Free to work all day? That's industrialized slavery. You understand? If that's not industrialized slavery, tell me what industrialized slavery would look like. Because you was in agricultural slavery, right? And then you went to industrial slavery. So what will industrial slavery look like? We know agricultural slavery look like. You're on a plantation, you're getting gas, you're out there picking cotton, you ain't getting paid, right? They're giving you some shit to eat and a little shack with a cover on it, right? And some raggedy ass clothes. You see? They barely cover your nakedness, if that. See, that was agricultural slavery. But they went to industrial age, so they didn't need you there no more. So they called, let's free them. Free them from what? Free you from the agricultural age. They didn't free your ass, because how are you free? How are you free? You got nothing. But and these demons, they're the ones that promoting this crap. Oh man, we free now, man. Free what? Because they're demons. They raped our women. They raped me so bad. They said we caught the worst of it. They raped me so bad, so incessantly, so evilly, so continuously. That's just half the blacks in America, their children. Now that isn't blacks and mess with black men. You got to read it. It says that's their children, not ours. It says in Message Black Man. They ain't got to revise that part yet. So what that make you, master? What's that make you, Farrakhan? You follow the devil. That's why you're not talking about demons, because then you have to talk about yourself. That's what demons are. I'm not just saying that. Have devil, have men. That's what the scriptures tell you demons are. Hybrids. The chaff, devil seed. Black-faced devils. Okay, so now we're going to go into a topic, mind war. And we're going to explain a few things, brothers and sisters, because like I said, you have to thorough knowledge yourself, and you're not getting thorough knowledge yourself from Farrakhan. First of all, he don't have knowledge. He have knowledge of himself. He's a demon. That's why he talk where he say it, does what he do. Now he can't imagine his luck. He got control of the inner eye, his natural enemy. And so he's making a laughing stock, putting FY uniforms on pigs, swine, on the devils. See, Scientology, and all this other stuff all the time, claiming he's representing Elijah Muhammad, which is a total lie. I mean, you don't have to take my word for it. All you got to do is look at the lessons and stuff and see if that corresponds with Farrakhan is saying. So most of you don't care, because most of you are demons anyway. And the rest of you, right, are just total idiots if you're not agents. They say bring the devils into the NOI. That's an abomination right there. Abomination. Be careful that word. There's a kickback on that one. So, brothers and sisters, we're going to talk about mind war. Give me a second here. And make you understand what that's all about. Your knowledge of self. You won't have just knowledge of self, but thorough knowledge. Because remember, they took all knowledge from you. If Master Muhammad showed up, right? You had knowledge, but not knowledge of self. You had Christianity. That was the software you was running. Self-destructive. See, they gave you that much. See, because coming out of industrial slavery, coming out of agricultural slavery, well, you had no mind at all. Coming industrial, right? They had to give you, make sure they had, because you had to loosen the strength a little bit. So they made sure, right? They really pushed it. Put the preachers there out there full time, right? Make sure they have eyes and psychological control with that Christianity. They really push it hard. See? And they knew one of the central things, right? Because they knew who we are. They knew who we are. The Chinese know who we are. They got history going back 6,000 years. You think they don't know who we are? They have history going back 6,000 years at least. The Indians have history going back over 35,000 years at least. Some say over 50,000 years. They still have the history. They still been there. India hasn't disappeared. They were still 50,000 years ago. China was there 6,000 years ago. They haven't disappeared. They got the history. They still have it. They know who we are. So they had to erase that from us. See? That we are Abraham's seed and all that. They had to erase all that. And how you know, because when black folks was like saying that kind of stuff, right? They allowed them to say it because that was part of the program. So you're going to make them think that, hey, man, you got some hope. Because after a while, I mean, you put somebody under total unbearable pressure and without giving someone hope, they're going to rebel. They have no choice to rebel. A dog would do that. If you keep on beating, you're going to bite you. I don't care how much you think he love you. If you're putting people under a pressure where where unbearable, they just can't. Like I said, you make a person, you're going to work 24/7. You won't get no rest. You can't do it. It's impossible. At the point, he'll have to fight because he just can't do it. It's impossible. He may be ignorant, but his instinct will tell him because he got to rest. He can't do it. So in other words, you got to give him some kind of way. Or, hey man, you're gonna get some sleep tomorrow. So maybe you may give him a couple more hours because he know you're gonna get some sleep in it. But he ain't gonna never get no sleep, right? You see what I'm saying? But you can get more out of him. Well, yeah, you can sleep after the end of the week. See what I'm saying? So they had to give you something. They gave some hope that one day, you wouldn't be abundant all this. Because remember, when you die, you're going to heaven. But if you obey Master, then you won't have to, it'd be better for you. That was one of your hopes. You see? But remember, that was coming out the Bible. And you had the preachers following that. right? So they gave the hope of Moses. You saying? See? Because so what happened? See? So, but when you come out of chain slavery, right? They didn't want you to sing that song no more. Because they're loosening chains on you, because industrial slavery is a whole different ball game. They want to make, it's economics. They want you to work and keep the economy going, because you part of the economy now. Industrial slavery, you part of the economy now. Not just the bottom, like when you was in chain slavery, right? They just sell products and things. That's a whole different concept. You still at the bottom of the barrel. You're still turning shit into gold. See? So preachers stopped saying that, and they wouldn't do that. So what happened? Martin Luther King goes and meets Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad does something to him, give him some backbone, some balls or something. So he goes out and did exactly what they told him not to do. Do not talk about this Abraham covenant stuff anymore. See, it's hard to control you now. But now they had to loosen the chain a little bit. So you got that dog, you got a strict chain and muzzle and everything. Well, you got better control. But you take the muzzle off, right? And you keep chain loose, and you make the rope a little longer, right? Then it's a little hard to control them. But you have to do that for industrial slavery. You have to give them, a little more room, more flexibility. They told him don't get it. He gave it, and they killed him the next day. He was dead the next day. You don't take my word for it. He gave the promised land speech, was dead the next day. And you don't see no preachers talking that. They don't talk it, because they told you better not talk that one. See? Because that's resurrection. That means we wake up and see who we are. See? We might take that scripture seriously. And they put false Israel up there to make sure, right, that you don't even think that's you. Because that false Israel, see, they prove it. They the one, you don't see all these think all stuff just magic. People just making stuff up. False Israel was the most one after us. One of the most hated people on the planet. The Jews were one of the most hated people on the planet. So much so they was burning them up. And everybody in Europe was on board with it. They didn't have no friends in Europe. Everybody in Europe was on board of it. They went after Charlie because he was burning up Jews. They went after him because of that. They mostly went after him because America mostly went after because he messed with their, right? With Britain. Those two are inseparable. If he wasn't messing with Britain, America wouldn't have got into it. That's why they went after him. But they didn't care about the burning of the Jews. They was hating them. They've been persecuted for years, for thousands of years. So how in the hell, just like that overnight, they love them. All of a sudden the ants become honey patch and everybody loving eating the honey. How did that happen? Because Elijah Muhammad came along. Must have matched Muhammad. He was the Lord of dawn. He came on the first light we saw. We never saw any light. Light was totally distinguished. Was totally distinguished from us. So-called black leaders and stuff like that there, even Marcus Garvey, light was still distinguished. What he was saying was not right. It was still within the darkness of this world. Light was still distinguished until the Master Muhammad showed up. Until Elijah Muhammad, who we are, the covenant, and everything. And once Elijah Muhammad started explaining that, all of a sudden, we can't have them knowing that kind of stuff. So they said false Israel, because we can't be the ones. They got to be the. That's how they also still love those people. And everybody loves them. But think about that, brothers and sisters. Mind war. Let's go into it, brothers and sisters. I'm going to try to take this kind of slow, right? I've talked about this in the past. Talk about it again, because you have thorough knowledge of self. Because you have no knowledge of self right now. On Farrakhan, you have no knowledge of self. He's telling you dumb crap like, you don't make babies, some mystery God. He tell you first, God's a man. Then he say some God's in everybody's room. Now, is the Master Muhammad in everybody's room? Is he making, he's sleeping with all these women? Is he my daddy? But Farrakhan, do we pay attention to anything he's saying? Is there any logic or math to it? Muhammad said Islam is mathematics Islam. So if mathematics Islam, then give me the mathematics of this mystery God that he just told. Farrakhan, he just told us Master Muhammad is a man. So who is this mystery God? He claims there's no mystery God. It's in everybody's womb making babies. Do you add? Can you add, subtract? Who is this mystery God? He told you don't exist. Is in the room making babies that you have no control over it, none whatsoever. But yet still, where the crack babies come from, you have no control over it. And this mystery God, he's the one making everybody. So what happened when they come retarded or come deformed? When he fell asleep on the job? And he's in everybody's womb. So how is he doing that? I mean, man, he got to be very prolific, right? To be in I mean, all these babies being created every day. And that's go with animals too? How is that? And then what about abortion? He's out there making this baby and somebody just come snatch it from him. He's the God? And you don't add, subtract any of this? And this is Farrakhan's message? Because he know you're stupid. He know he deal with stupid people. That's why he can say stuff like that. Because anybody intelligent would run away from that fool so fast, he could shit in his face on the way out. It makes no sense, doesn't add up. See? That's what he's telling you. He's telling you dumb shit like that. Scientology. Islam is supposed to be self-sufficient, but yet still, that's why I showed up here. Give us knowledge, their knowledge self. Like Muhammad spent 40 some years giving to it, yet we had to go to L. Ron Hubbard to figure out how to control ourselves. To get our minds. He's the one who gives our minds back to the devil. Oh, but he's not the devil anymore. That's not what Muhammad said. That's not what Muhammad said. That's not even what the Quran says. And what the Bible says. But yeah, Farrakhan knows best. So we're gonna go through it, brothers, to try to explain to you. Now, what you see right there is, I mean, it's just, I'm giving you an illustration of how things work. I mean, so you can follow it. So what I'm saying there is, I'm saying, okay, that's the universe right there, right? The outside, you got 3 circles there, right? 3 spheres, but we know it's 2-dimensional, right? Those you understand what dimensions are, right? First dimension is a line, second dimension is a square or a circle, third dimension is a cube or a sphere, right? There's no 4th dimension, right? And the 0th dimension is a point, which you can see. That's no store altogether. I got a presentation explaining all that mathematically, because Islam is mathematics, Islam, you're not getting any mathematics. Only mathematics you get from Farrakhan, here called Savior's Day is, who gonna give me $1,000? How about 2,000? That's only math you get from him. That's the only math you get from him. So the outer part, right? We say that's just all energy. It's all energy, right? It's all energy. Outer part could represent the universe. And the Quran says that earth and the heavens were one. That means at one time it was all one piece. That's what the Quran says. The KV says, he says something similar. He called it the Big Bang. He says the whole universe was the size of an atom in the beginning. So if you believe that the universe could be the size of an atom, then surely you could believe it would be the size of the Earth within its atmosphere, right? That's about easier to believe than it's the size of the atom. Okay, but either way, it's very small compared to the size it is now. So we're gonna say the inner two, that's inner side of it. See, that's the inner. See, when you put something under pressure, you got the pressure, outer pressure, inner pressure. So we're gonna say the universe is energy, but it's also it's pressure. That's pressure is a form of energy. Everything is energy. Mathematics is energy. Energy is mathematics. And energy ain't like mathematics, not control mathematics. Energy is mathematics. Period. No offense or buts about it. That's hard for most to understand, but that's the case. Okay, so we're gonna say that the center represents, right, the 2 in the center. That's the center, and the outside. So in other words, that center circle, we're gonna consider that to be the Earth. For now, I'm gonna cut a few corners here. I'm gonna jump ahead. I don't want you to be confused, but anyway, that represents the universe. So remember, it says the heavens and earth are one, right? So I'm gonna say, okay, the Earth represents that center circle. No, it's 3 circles. So not the smallest one, the second smallest one, right? So those 2 in the center, right? That's the earth and the center of the earth, put it like that. That represents the earth at the core of the earth. And the outside represents the heavens or the universe. Right? Okay. Now, another thing. This is something Cavey doesn't understand. He says, well, it was a big bang, but he can't determine whether the universe is going to, he says expanding, because he says it's expanding. He can show expanding. Right? He thinks it's not expanding now. But see, the way he determines what it's expanding, he can't determine it to be exact. Because he's looking at light. And where the universe is right now, when you look out there, that's not the way it is. You look at those stars, that's not the way it is right now. That's where it was billions of years ago, because it took that time long for light to get here. So by the time you see light gets here, the universe is totally different than where it is. If you go out there right now, you see a totally different universe. You can go out, get out there. But because it took that long for light to get here, that's not what it's like. It's different now. So when they go out there and they say universe is expanding, they talk about, they're looking back in the past like thousands, millions of years. And they say it's expanding, so they think it's still happening right now. But it could be contracting now. They wouldn't know. Because they don't have any way of knowing spontaneously what the universe is doing. See? So we're going to talk about that. Let's look at this. Right? See if we make sense of this. Now, I don't know if I think I just said it. The universe spans and contracts. Spans and contracts. Yes, Cavey, he don't understand that. Right? That he don't know if it's going to contract again and just keep on doing. But the Quran tells you it does. Say, because heaven and earth was one, then we expanded the heavens. We expand, so we cause it to expand. See? And now it tells you in the Bible that the universe is now contracting again. It's growing. Right? So all the energy that used to be here is out there now. Because remember, all this energy. And then it gets to the maximum that, because the tension builds so great. Like a rubber band, you keep pulling the rubber band, you keep pulling that rubber band, the more you pull it, the harder to pull it. The more you pull it, the harder to pull it. After a while, if that tension becomes greater than your strength, it's going to pop before you pull your hands back together. You pull it, if that's tension in it becomes greater than your strength, it's going to pull it back together. That's what happens in the universe. Then it just keeps going back and forth forever. It's always done, always will. Just like a beating heart. Okay? So I just showed you right here, right? The universe contracting. Let me do it again. Make sure you get it. See? Nope, no, I'm going the wrong way. So here's expanding. Expand now. Let's contract it again. So it's contracting. Now, why those colors? Because as contracting, there's pressures. So you put energy in a smaller space, pressure builds up. Like when you squeeze a balloon, the more you squeeze it, right, the more pressure it builds. So the universe is the yellow part, right? Okay. Earth is the red part, and the black part is the core of the earth. Now, as the atoms, as when you take in a pot, that's what I call a pressure cooker, right? Another way, if you could take that and just make it smaller, the pressure would build. See, because the atoms are colliding, they have less room to collide, so they collide more often, right? So they move faster and faster and fast. Temperature. See, you got three parts. You got volume, you got collisions, and you got temperature. Those are the three things that deal with pressure. So in other words, if you take the same amount of atoms and you put a smaller space, that means the collisions, the pressure is going to build up, but the temperature also is going to build up again. And the temperature is how fast they're moving. That's the same thing as heat. The faster they're moving, the hotter it is. The faster they're moving, the higher it is. And the faster they're moving, the more collision, that means the greater pressure builds up. Right? You understand that? As you compress it, right, that means the atoms have less room to move around. So they start colliding each other more and more and more. So the more they collide, the greater pressure is going to be. That's why it's harder and harder pressure to have glued together. But if you can measure it, if you can actually measure it, as you press together, if it's not large enough balloon, right, you can get the measure, you see it's warming up in there. It's warming. But why? Because the atoms move around faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. Because you give it less space, move around fast. So temperature goes up. That's what it is. Temperature is how fast things are moving. Fire things move very fast. Fire makes things speed up, so that means they start getting hot and they turn to fire too. Okay? So as the universe is contracting, right, you see a yellow, now it's built because it's turning yellow, now it's because a lot of pressure there now. And now the pressure outside has to equal the pressure inside for it to stop compressing. Because once it starts compressing, right, it starts small. And the pressure on the outside is greater than the pressure on the inside, right? The pressure on the outside is greater than the pressure on the inside. So as it's contracting, right? Contracting, the pressure inside builds because it's under more pressure. As it's contracting, out the yellow, as it's contracting, right? It builds up pressure, but it puts up pressure on the inside too. So that pressure builds. It builds. And they keep on doing it until that pressure inside is equal to pressure outside, then it can't contract anymore. See? It's like when you ever seen those pumps? When you push down on it, you keep pushing, but when the pressure in the pump becomes equal to the amount of pressure you put down, you can't press it down anymore. You don't have the strength to push down anymore because the pressure is equal to the amount of strength you have. So you can't push it down anymore. You see? Because now the pressure inside is equal to the pressure outside. So it's going to keep on going to the pressure inside is equal to the pressure outside. See? So keep on contracting. But notice, now remember, it has many, look at it this way. The energy is the same. So we're gonna make a statement here, right? But for you to make it easy for you to understand. It's the same amount of energy on the outside in that yellow as is in that red and black, because that's the inside. The black in there is just a core on the inside, but that still represents inside. So the energy on the outside is equal to energy inside, because at the point the universe starts contracting, that means the power energy on the outside has to be equal to energy inside. That's the only way to stop it. Otherwise, it just keep on contracting to nothing, right? So that means the pressure on the outside in the yellow has to equal to the same pressure that's within the inside, which is that red and the black, right? So all those pressures are equal now. Stop contracting. Okay, but look at it this way. Look at there's the same amount of atoms in the yellow as there are in the red and the black together. It says same amount of atoms, right? And now they move real fast, right? And they're colliding, right? So remember, think about this now. The same amount of atoms in the yellow as is in this side, the red included in the black. Consider them one thing. So if that's the case, that means the temperature on the inside is greater than the temperature on the outside, even though the pressure is the same. Why? Because you have the inside, you have the same amount of atoms, but they're in a smaller space. So that means they move faster than the ones on the outside, because they have more space to move into, but the pressure is equal to the same. Pressure is both equal. Same amount of atoms, it's just inside is hotter because it moves faster. That's why you see a star to the sun, the core of the sun is much higher than the outside. But it don't explode because the pressure is equal. Because the pressure inside was greater than the pressure outside, it would explode. And the pressure outside was greater than the pressure inside, it would implode. Right? Because the pressure would cause it collapse, crush. That's the supernova. What happens? It collapses and then it blows up. Because it collapses, because pressure on the outside is greater, then it crushes down. But as it crushes down, it forces the pressure inside to build so great, now they're equal, and then boom, it blows up. That's where a supernova goes off like that. Hope you understand that, brother and sister. So the pressure of both, but it's different. The temperature is different because the atoms inside move much faster than the ones outside. See? But the same thing happens in the inside too. Because inside, remember, this side, that's equal to the outside. Inside represents the black and the red. But the black is inside the red. And that means the atoms in there are going to be moving faster. That's the core than the ones in the red. So they're going to be even faster because they're in a smaller space. See? So in other words, if the earth was just one thing and it wasn't nothing in the center, then, but it's something in the center there is the core. And that whatever's in the core is moving faster than what's out in the rest of the earth. Something in the center there, right? And it's moving faster, but the pressure remains the same for both. Only because it's smaller space, right? The same amount of atoms are in the red that's in the black. See? But in the black, right, they move much faster. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. So they move at 24 billion miles per second. They achieve that speed. And we're taught in the lesson that once you achieve that speed of thought. That means in the black, they become conscious. The black atoms in the black become conscious. But it's still pressure. But it's conscious. It's still pressure, but it's still conscious now. Because it's moving 24 billion miles per second. The one in the red ain't moving that fast, but it moves fast, but not 24 billion miles per second. It's moving fast enough because the collision is so powerful, like a core of a star, that it can fuse atoms. And that's how you make atoms by confusing them. You fuse them because protons and protons. So a helium atom is just 2 protons. See, our sun can produce a helium atom, which is 2 protons fused. But it takes a real powerful star to produce carbon or oxygen because it's more complex atom. And for uranium, it takes a superstar because it's like hundreds of protons you have to fuse together. See, so you need a superstar to do that because the pressure has to be enormous. But remember, the universe, at this point, right? The universe is one gigantic star because this whole universe right there. Remember, because all contracted at one point. There's one superstar, the biggest star ever. See the wild side there, right? The superstar ever, and the core is the hardest, pressurized core in the universe, which means it can produce every atom possible. That's why the Earth has every atom possible in it. No other planet has that. Only the Earth. That shows the Earth is a center universe. Can produce every, right? That's in the red. See? Because that's why a lot of them call it atom of life. Because uranium, all those are very powerful atoms. But they don't have enough pressure in them to achieve 24 billion miles per second. See? Because that pressure is greater. So they're able to produce all these other atoms. But the atom of life, they can't produce the atom of life. They only can produce in the center. And with the atom of life. 24 billion miles per second. So outside there, maybe moving at 20 billion miles per second ain't enough. It's like, I think what takes 212 degrees to call water to boil. If that's correct, 211 won't do it. It had to be 212. See? So it takes 24 billion miles per second to achieve thought. It can't be 23, it has to be 24. But the other ones is enough to produce all the other elements, uranium and everything else. Gold, all those things. See? Super pressure. There's no water at this time, remember, because all this is just heat. Fire. Elements. See, water is a molecule. There's no molecules. All it is right now is just atoms. Molecules mean atoms combine atoms together. That's a molecule. No molecules, just atoms. Because the pressure is too great for molecules. See? So there we are. We're at the center. That's why it says, make an owner, cream of the planet Earth, God the universe. Why? Because, so why it says cream of the planet? Because cream right on the bottom top. Because we originated at the bottom, in the center. It was fire, like I said in the Bliss, was first made of fire. Because there was no molecules at that time. See? It was at the center. We rose to the surface. See? Of the Earth. And then once we rose to the Earth, then we formed the Earth like we wanted to. Make an owner. We didn't create the Earth. Remember, it says, made it. Make an owner. Create a planet, God. And where's God universe comes from? Remember the yellow is the universe? Remember the pressure there is equal to the pressure that's in that center? It's equal to the pressure that's in that center. But the pressure is conscious pressure. That means it's equal to the consciousness of the universe. It knows it has its total consciousness of the universe. You understand? That means it's God universe. It's totally conscious of the universe. Because this pressure equal to the pressure, both are pressure, but one is conscious pressure. And it equal makes us God of the universe. Make an owner, and it's right there, brothers and sisters. You right in the center of the earth, make an owner, create a planet, you rose from the center to the top, means you can't start out in the center, right? God of the universe, it means our consciousness is equal to which is pressure, is equal to the pressure universe. It means God of the universe. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters, because I'm going to talk about some other things in a minute. So you need to know this. Right now, if he's hearing this right now, he's probably, trying to figure out, what universe he's going to flee to because he's in trouble. He says, it's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the Son of Man. Oh, no mercy for that clown. Earth and silence and all that stuff. Yeah, they can't tell you what that means. Make her only queen of planet of God. Just say it. What the hell does it mean? So there you go. There's Earth. That's the center, the brain. Like Elijah Muhammad said, the brain came forth first and brought forth the body. This is deeper than this, but I'm gonna leave it on the level of Elijah Muhammad. And that's it, because it goes even deeper than that. Okay. So here we go. Now I'm gonna say this too. See, at this time, like we were afire, there was a big war that resulted. I'm not going into detail about it, but at that time we had so much energy. Remember, all the universe, all the energy out there used to be here. We had so much. It was energy, like it was fire beings. That's what it said was. That's what Israel said was first made of fire. Made me first a fire. See, and there was no molecules. Before we cool to the top surface of the Earth, right? We'd cool it off. Then we had to make the sun. How does sun? Sun comes from hydrogen. That's the simplest atoms. That's pretty much the type of atomic structure you have out there in the yellow right there. It's just most hydrogen atoms, which is just protons. You got some few exceptions, but most that's what it is. Hydrogen from helium, maybe, right? Just basic stuff. Because, but in the Earth, you got every kind of element you can think of. So then we take some of that and make the sun with some of the hydrogen. That's what hydrogen is made of sun. I mean, the sun is made of hydrogen, right? See? And then as the universe expanding, right, you still have molecules, right? So you have so we take it has other atoms in the atmosphere, right? Because you have I said we have hydrogen, you have helium, right? And oxygen is an atom, right? So, and those are pretty simple atoms. But you have a lot of hydrogen, most of it's hydrogen. See? So how do you cool the surface? Well, the guy at that time, Allah, that was his name. That's where we remember him because they called himself Allah, right? He takes and mixes some hydrogen with oxygen. Once he mixes it together, he has water. He has water. See? But he's a fire being at that time. I'm not going that kind of history, bro, since I have a presentation that explains all that. Right? See? So I'm just pointing it out. Okay. So let's move on here. So there, a brain with conscious. We don't have a mind yet. You see, brain with conscious don't have a mind. What is a mind? See, mind's a software. It's like when you have a computer, you have a hardware, you have software. Mind's your software. The operating system. Right? See? So you can do things. You can transform matter from energy one form to another. I mean, gives you control, guidance. So you're just not just pressure anymore, because now you're conscious, right? It's like you wake up in the morning, you have no education, anything, so you're conscious, you're aware, but what? You need some software, you need language, right? You need some kind of instruction or whatever, right? That's your software. That's your software. So it's kind of now you need software. You need a language. See, I got to develop a language for itself, right? So he can distinguish between. He knows he's aware of everything. Okay, now break it down. Okay, make distinction between what's the earth and what's the heavens, right? What's the difference between a proton and a neutron? What's the difference between hydrogen and helium and all that kind of stuff, right? That's the software part of it. Language is the most important part of it. Language. Okay? My life, 90 software. Then we build software. See? That's my saying a little backwards, so I'm gonna give it to you backwards anyway. Right? We'll explain it more another time. Right? They said, well, how could he build this kind of computer without language and stuff? Well, he already built the software. This extension, because I'm cutting corners here. Right? He's already built his software, his language. And then once he's done that, then he builds this supercomputer. I'll just go ahead and say it. Let's see. He got his software, he got his language, which is mathematics. He's got that now. Now he's got software. And first thing he builds, right, is a supercomputer. A supercomputer. Why build a supercomputer? Not when what they got now. What they got now is nothing compared to this. I'll explain to you in a minute. With a supercomputer. Why do you need to do that? See? So he's got his software, right? He's got his language, the mathematical language, all of that. He got that, and he knows it. The whole universe. He can speak the universal language because he has total control of the universe. Because his power is equal to the power of the universe, right? Because Muhammad didn't speak about computers, and you know about computers. But they tell you, well, he wrote history, and when he say he wrote history by, he watching a bug run up the wall, another bug going down. We say like that because he knew anything about history, about computers. So what about that, Eric? Farrakhan, all you liars out there. It's not Mr. Black Man, is it? Ain't Fall of America, is it? Ain't any of that. I was there. I helped publish some of that stuff. I was a former Muhammad Speak newspaper. I was here for 775. I know you don't know how you talk about because 90% of what Elijah Muhammad taught ain't in those books. A lot of stuff he taught it that way because he was aware of it. Like he said, dynamite, the original science used dynamite. That's because that was the most powerful explosive they knew at the time. That's why I used the word dynamite. They used dynamite. You know how much dynamite would take to split the earth like that? It'd take more dynamite than you could possibly make his whole solar system. More dynamite than probably take to put on the size of planet Jupiter. So how you gonna put it in there? You know how you make dynamite? You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Well, you smell dynamite on the moon. Really? They did? You sure as if they smell it? And if they did, was it really because of dynamite? Wasn't it because some after birth, some from other explosion? They didn't use dynamite. If you read the lessons, they use nuclear. Master Muhammad, right in the lessons, right? They tell you about nuclear before they even knew about it. Before the people even knew about nuclear bombs, he's talking about a lesson. But this liar last second, well, we know that Ishmael. Yeah, we got the mathematics of the lesson. No, you don't. You're a damn lie. You're a goddamn lie. You don't know the mathematics of that. What it says is that I'm paraphrasing. He says the scientist he split. Remember, this was back in the 30s before they even split the atom, before they even knew about nuclear bombs. It wasn't even a concept. If you go back and watch those ancient old book, Flash Gordon, the movie stuff that there, those powerful weapon they had was death rays. Nothing about no atomic bombs or anything. So he's talking about this one lesson. He says this time, I forget what his name was. He split the atom. Cracked atom in 10 million parts. Cracked the atom in 10 million parts. He's talking about cracking atoms. Nobody was talking about atoms back then. He cracked the atom in 10 million parts. And he says, well, no, how much does a cracked atom weigh? Let's see, if you know anything about physics, Ishmael, you know, weight and force is the same thing. It's just the way you speak for, like if you speak, like you say, Jesus and Joshua, same name, it's just different languages. In Greek, Joshua is Jesus. In Hebrew or Aramaic, it's Joshua. It's the same thing, it's just different language. So if the way you talk in physics, if you're talking in terms of weight, gravity, then you say weight. If you're talking in terms of just interreactions, use the term force. The same thing. When you walk on the floor, right, your weight is causing force, ain't it? So if you change the let's say, how much force does a crack atom weigh? You got a nuclear explosion. Because when you break it 10 million parts, right, each one of those like photons moving away from it at speed of light. That's a nuclear explosion he's talking about there. Dumbass. Y'all history. So anyway, so you know the lessons. Really? What about the lesson that you can't reform the devil? What about that one? Well, I'm not gonna waste time with you fools. Anyway, so he makes a supercomputer. Something they can't imagine, and we have it. It's still it has to be here. It has to stay here constantly in order to do what I'm going to tell you what's going to do. But it's off planet. See, when they came and said, man, nobody had the wheel but us. We didn't have, first of all, wheel is stupid. What the hell we need wheels for? We got the force that powers Master Muhammad's mother plane. We need wheels and stuff like that. That's backward stuff. We didn't have stuff on the planet because we didn't make our planet industrial complex. We manufacture offline, off world. The Earth was a garden before you came. That's why you found that way. It's garden. You don't manufacture in your house. Say, man ain't had nothing. And now, so now you got your industrial complex here on the Earth, like you think it's so great, and that's what it's doing. It's polluting the Earth, ain't it? It's polluting the Earth, ain't it? Too late, dummy. It's stupid. But you thought I was great, man. We got this. They ain't never had no something before. So they made this supercomputer. So see, why would they do that? For two reasons. It serves two purposes. Because, remember, software. See? So as time changes, as universe changes, right? Because it changes. I'm not going to evolution, that kind of stuff. I'm hit on a little bit. Let me see how much time I've been on it. Oh, whoa, wow. Okay, I'm hit on a little bit. Universe expands. That means I don't want to go into a lot of detail here, but I want to say because as soon as I say I'm not talking about it right now, first you say, well, because you don't know about it. When universe expands, see, when it's compressing, right, it's under pressure. When it expands on tension, it's the same thing, just opposites. You pull things, that's tension, and pushes pressure. So you start like a rubber band, you start pulling the rubber band, right? When you pull it, the tension builds up, right? That's dissatisfaction. Same thing. Right? Because now you're under tension. But if the rubber band breaks, everybody relaxes again, so everything's cool. Right? But if it's only a small tension, there's a little piece breaks off. And then everybody relaxes until the tension builds up again. Then the tension builds up greater that time, next time. Then you got a little bigger piece break off. Then a bigger piece, keep on going, relax, right? Satisfaction brings about dissatisfaction brings about change. That's what it's talking about. So that's where you see, at first, we broke off the little attribute from ourselves because remember the Christ said we're perfecting ourselves. So all the things you see, all life you see, I said came from us. But think what we look like when all that life was in us. Plant life, animal life, what did we look like back then when all that stuff was in us? Right? Was composite of all that. We comprised all of that. Right? So then we took out the small little things first. Right? Blue temperature, break, then relax. Keep on going, kept on going, At some point we went to the gender part. I'm not going to go there right now. Like I said, I'll be here forever. I already talked about that, the whole thing explained about the gender situation. But a little bit more, right? Then you get to the plant life, a little more, get to the reptiles and so forth. So it gets more complicated. More complicated beings come out of us. So we define ourselves, perfecting ourselves to this form we have right now. Until when you get to the point where it's almost maximum tension, you bring out somebody almost like you. Almost like you, a mankind, almost like you. And then you look at archaeological record, you see, hey man, amoebas, man, they trillions of years old, billions of years old, man, then plant life. And you look at that and say, man, well, there must be evolution. We must start from our amoeba back there because you'll see us doing this. The archaeological record is right. It's just the interpretation is wrong. Because that's the evolutionary process, right? And so at the end of it, we brought forth Europeans because they almost mankind, because the potential was so great, it was somebody almost like us. And now but when you start contracting, right? The first thing to go was what? The last thing that came about. The ones that, the devils. Anyway. So you see here, let me show it again. I'm doing slow motion here. I want you to understand this. Because as the creation grows, right, times change, right? And so we say we got a 25,000 year, probably 25,000 year cycle, right? And so there's 4 seasons for each one. 4 seasons for every one of those cycles. Each 6,000 year period. We just come to a 6,000 year winter period. Now we're in 6,000 year spring period. That's why I call Master Mount the Lord of Dawn. Because now he's the God of this 6,000 year period that's coming in. Dr. Shabbat, Dr. Yaku was the 5,000 God of the 6,000 years just winter that we just come through. The worst one we ever went through. Because that was at the maximum expansion. Okay? So that's when, during that time, that's when we brought forth that being that said almost like us. Was maximum expansion. That means we was at the weakest because we had the least amount of energy at that time because all the energy, the max expansion, that means we're the weakest. Because we don't have as much energy we had when we was at the beginning of the universe. So we had the weakest. That's called energy deprivation, right? That's why we made Adam, because we could no longer rule. We had energy. It takes energy to have a civilization, take energy to rule, take energy to do these things. And we didn't have it. So we brought a stripped down version of ourselves, mankind, something like us, like I said, has a form of godliness, but not without the say had a form of godliness without the power thereof, that was denying the power thereof. So they had the righteousness and everything that went with it, right? But they had this the form of us without the righteousness and right. You see, so that's what it's talking about. But so they didn't require as much energy because we converted the recessive genes. So therefore they could rule for 6,000 years in that period, which they did. So the reason to do this, so you can write that history, future history. That's the books. Because at that time, when you start doing this, the universe is simple. And you can know, remember, this conscious has kind of every atom that exists, because it's conscious equal to the universe. So it's conscious at kind of every atom that exists at that time, the way it's moving, everything else. Because that's the universe. Yes, he's aware of it. Right? So then he builds a computer so he can track it. See? And so he can track it 25,000 years at a time, approximately. Right? But then at 25 years, right? Because it takes a lot of computer power to do that. Then in 25,000 years, you got a matrix or whatever, right? The data of how the universe is at that particular time perfectly. So you can feed that information to go to the next 25 questions. Otherwise, you got to go back to the beginning again. So you got to maintain that. And then after that 25, you got to maintain that level to keep going forward and forward and forward. So even if you found this computer and you could do with it, if you didn't have the data, the current data, you couldn't use it. Because you had to go back to the beginning when the universe is totally simple. You had to find where every atom is, what it's doing, and move forward every 25,000 years. It would take 20 years to get here. You understand? See? That's why it's offline. They can't ever get anywhere near. And we just constantly going, but only 25,000 years time, because it takes so much computer power to track every atom, know exactly what it's doing. But they also produce these books, which is called scripture, because time changes. So we're like 6,000 year period is going to be a little different. Winter going to be a little different from summer. Summer a little different. And then within winter, you have different phases within winter. And so they know when these different phases, they see different phases, they says, okay, what's the best way to deal with that? See, so they look at it and say, oh, this is what it's going to be like. And then they take and makes that book is presented to the people at that time, right? So they can transform energy to another form. One another form has to move it through a time to best deal with that particular situation. See, those called scripture. Like Elijah Muhammad said, the whole thing is called the Quran. Those are like chapters in it. See. For that particular time, that's your software. That's your mind for that particular time. That's the mind you need, because your mind is your operating system. The operating system you need to be most effective will convert energy from one form to another to be self keep moving through time. That's why you have the believers and the disbelievers, because the believers are the one upload. Disbelievers don't, so they lost. They don't make it. They lost in time. They're dead. The believers upload it, right, and they move on. See? That's time is convert energy from one form to another. That's time. If no conversion, there's no time. If the universe is not, and you're not convert, the energy just, the universe just dormant. It's just lazy. Nothing. There's no time. Time is not what's on your watch. If your watch break, the time start. See? That's what it is. See? So that's what the book tells you. Okay, it's going to be this way. This is what the climate's going to be. This way, this way time is going to be. We at this time, right? We're going to this tension is going to be so sad, fast, be so great, right? That we're going to have to produce apple trees or whatever. You have to bring them into existence. You understand? See, to relax the tension or whatever. I'm trying to give you a comprehensive. I should include the gender thing. I'm not, because I said, because it's quite a few things I still want to cover. So that's why you do that. So that's the scripture. See? So when these clowns come telling you, oh, the Crown is the last book. No, the Crown was the book for 1,400 years ago because it did its purpose. It took and locked up the Europeans for 1,000 years. And now it serves its purpose. Now it's not relevant anymore. It's relevant. You can use it for certain things like reciting and stuff, but it's not relevant for this time because it's time unprecedented trouble. And the Quran does not give guidance to get through it. Only one does that is the angel. It was written for this particular time. And there's a book inside that was written for specific goals. See? So when they come to, well, look, Elijah Muhammad, he got the lesson from Master Muhammad. Those lessons, right? That got him through that period of time. Message of black man is no relevant for right now. I mean, you can use it, get some information, but it's not relevant because it's not going to tell you. It didn't see COVID did it. It doesn't see any of these things. It doesn't see this war going, does it? It doesn't see how it's going to outcome. It's talking about watch the weather, generalities. No, these scriptures are not generalities. They're specifics. Don't say, well, you want to get to New York, just go north. No. Make this turn, that turn, take this highway, take the highway, whatever. So you know exactly what to do. And those listeners to angels know exactly what to do. They know you don't know anything. I know that. If you ain't studying angel, you don't know anything. If people study angel, no. If you ain't studying angel, or you not understand this message, you don't know anything. You don't know shit. You don't know anything. You don't know who you is, you don't know your name, you don't know where you come from. Still walk around with these names in the slave master's name, and those weren't even names. They weren't even names. And you still, oh, my name is Andy Richardson. My name is Mary Richardson. And you don't know they weren't even names. They was brands. That showed that you was owned by Master Richardson. Because he sold you Master Boynton, your name became Amy Boynton. Everybody on the plantation was named something. And last name was Boynton. They weren't even relatives. Why? Because that was their brands. But you still walking around that because you're still a Negro butt. But you're going to get this in a minute. But some of you are going to get too late. Because you're going to realize that they're cutting your throat. Because that's what's about to happen. See? But that's why they do that. They wrote. So they have that. So now you deal with every situation as it comes. You have the scriptures, and then you upload it. That's the mind that you need. Because that's what it is. The angel is your mind. The Quran is your mind. If you run around the Quranic mind, you run around the Quran mind's out of date. Like, you got, I got Windows 6. Man, they talking about Windows 11 now. Right? You going on minus out of date. They haven't won a victory in 500 years. That shows it's irrelevant. Why would you have a book that's irrelevant to have a victory in 500 years? It's irrelevant. These people come out following fire color kind of stuff, following message black man. How relevant are they? None. Zero. They ran to COVID-19 just like Farrakhan did. 220 miles per hour. Dead stop. Bam. And walk around with masks and everything else on. They don't even understand the Abrahamic covenant. Because that's the case. That says in 1619 to 2019, before the years, 2020 will be a plague that will kill the firstborn. They ain't see any of that, which means the elderly and pass of rust. So why are you wearing a mask? Okay, so that's it. But it says a second purpose. It says dual purpose for the computer. So it has to keep track of every atom in the universe. That's why the Quran says, the Bible tells you, God knows every atom in the universe. He knows it by name. He knows all of it. That's what it's talking about. I don't mean some mystery gods to where it's got some super brain. No, because we do. We track it all. We know every star by its name. The stars are our treasuries. Remember I told you, you take some stars, it takes stars to produce atoms. So we got some astronomy, uranium atoms, some gold atoms. There's our treasure. We explode them to get that information out of there, get that materials out of there. Because we got plans, we got trillions of plans that we over 76 trillion years. We got trillions of plans that we took and set up and built. They're all habitable, and they all luxurious gardens. Every one of them waiting for you. It says you're gonna live on those planets after we get rid of these devils. But we didn't let them out there. See, I says one thing. You know, if they had turned on us, because see, their whole idea was they was supposed to be like caretakers while we were asleep. That's why we went along with it. The animal was supposed to he said, don't go into that tree. Leave that tree alone. But when they saw, hey man, these people are asleep, man. Dad, mom asleep. Because see, that's why it calls our children. See? Because they're our children. We reduced them. I'm dead asleep, man. We're going to take over the whole house. And then they did what they did to us. But if they had followed instructions, do what they do. We would have destroyed them. But they would stay on this planet. We'd have put them on the planet out there. Put them on a planet where there's no steel, right? No iron, where they could, because we know they're wicked, right? Where they could build any kind of craft to come back and start over. You know, Star Wars. See? But yeah, that's what we did. We'd have built a paradise for, but not here. Long way from us. But they, too late, that ship has sailed. So you're gonna be right with us, but you ain't gonna like it. So then, yes, this says a dual purpose. Because remember I was saying the universe, right? What we see out there, what we see right now, is not where the universe is right now. But the Quran says that a garden as wide as the heavens and earth. There wouldn't be a garden as wide as heaven and earth if we could not get out there. See, that's how we built all the planets. We were out there. And not only were we out there, we were not running at speed, flying at speed of light, but speed of thought, 24 billion miles per second. That's how fast we think, that's how fast we move. 24 billion miles per second means we can get to any place in the universe in a short period of time. We can get to the nearest star in less than an hour. See, 24 billion miles per second. We can go faster than that, actually, but we're limited to that computer because we need a computer to do it. It's like our GPS. Because the computer, has to take and plot your course. Has to calculate your course. Because you can't run anything out of it. That's why you have the galaxy. See, they talk about, they don't understand why they have galaxies and constellations. Because we did that. Otherwise, they say stars be every place, and you wouldn't have a galaxy constellation. They say the reason why you have that, right, is because we want space lanes. Right, so we have stars up over here, and everything like that. There's space lanes, so we move around. Otherwise, they're all over the place. There's no way we can move out there because we run to a star. Move that fast, that speed, we run to something. And you run to something, that speed, you're destroyed. So that's why we have the galaxies, and we got the super proton engine, the same type of engine that we use, that Master Muhammad is using to power his vehicles. We use the same type of technology to make what they call them black holes, which is able to put stars, galaxies together. So we have open spaces where we can maneuver without running anything. It's clear, whole space. We can move out there at 24 billion miles per second. That's why it's like that. We did that. You did that. And you're going to do it again. You just sleep. We're going to wake you up because you got a brain that you don't even, once you wake up, they know it. That's why they kept you lying. They're hoping to keep you like that forever, right? So that's what happened. So we need this technology because it tells you exactly where in other words, we need to know where every star is right now in order to travel out there because we want to travel right now. When you look at it right now, the stars where they are right now, they was there like a million years ago, some of them. You know, so this tells you where everything is, and so you put in, so you got your computer, right? And so you plot your course in there. And then and then your vehicle knows exactly what path to take to get there. You see? So the computer serves two purposes. Because both will require you know exactly where every atom in the universe is at the time and what it's doing, how it's interacting, right? See? And it also requires to look forward, right? So you use the same thing to write history. Same process. Exactly the same process. Hope you understand that, brothers and sisters. So I think I'll leave that alone there and move on. And then, of course, energy deprivation, 6,000 years ago, we got a new mind that came in. Now, let me show before I show you the mind that brought the computer in, everything. That was our mind. That was the atom of life that brought that reality in. And then, because of energy deprivation, because Dr. Huber, a new mind came in. And this is what he brought in. This is reality he brought in. This reality they brought in. See, out of their mind. When I said mind war, but that's what all this thing, everything is based on your mind. This whole reality is based on their mind. You say, well, you're talking about computers, you're talking about guns and missiles. It still comes out of the mind. All of it's based on the mind. You have to have, all this comes from the mind. The weather comes from the mind. It's a pressure differential. I said the mind is the most powerful pressure in the universe. So weather is pressure differential. And one of the reasons why you got so much crazy weather going in America right now, because you got a lot of pressures rising. You got greater pressure. See, I recognize, they don't recognize it. Because now they got all these different people, different minds here in America, right? Now most of them are still running around with American minds, even though they come from another country. They still run on American operating systems. But now you got another operating system that's in effect right now. That's not the operating system. So now you got a pressure differential that's causing all this crazy weather stuff. And it's going to get worse every day. So they watch the weather. You see, watch what's causing the weather. Weather's so what's causing the weather is a pressure differential. That's what it is. Ask anybody. Go check it out. What's causing the differential? See? And it's going to get worse here because as an angel, right, your mind's waking up. That means your pressure is increasing now because you're dropping off that software. You're upgrading from that software they gave you, Christianity kind of stuff, and American Dream. You start updating your real software and mathematical software. That pressure differential becomes greater and greater and greater because you're thinking differently what they're thinking. It's more powerful. And greater pressure destroys weaker pressure. 1 ounce of greater pressure will destroy 10 trillion tons of lower pressure. Because it doesn't go by numbers. It goes by pressure. And lower pressure, greater pressure always destroys lower pressure. That's why I always said one messenger or one prophet to no matter how powerful the kingdom is, just one. Because he said with high pressure is scripture, a high pressure mind. They give him a higher mind, a high pressure mind than the minds that he's going against. And he always destroys them. It's simple, brothers. It's what you understand it. So I'm giving my people, right, the angel, which is the mind for this time, which is high pressure, and it's destroying. That's why you see us America's coming right now. Because it's a battle of minds. Our minds is destroying their minds. That's why all this stuff is going on. It happened because it's just happening. We're causing it. Angel is causing that angel. Uploading angel is don't matter. You have to do something with it. You have to take and convert it, right, to energy. It's latent energy. It's like a book. It's just latent energy. You got to take that book and read and do something with it. See? Just store it like a memory. It's just stored energy. You got to take that memory and do something with it. Make it active. Activate it. So when you start uploading angel, you're activating that information. Otherwise, you've been sitting for 2,000 years, ain't doing nothing, just sitting there. If it was just angel itself, that means it would have done all this just sitting there. No, you have to break the seals and activate it. Split those atoms. Called atom bombs. That's what's bringing America down. Nothing they can do about it. It's battle of mind. See, but our minds was low pressure enough for their mind to displace our mind and come over for 6,000 years because we was energy deprivation, so our minds got weak. So now, that assuming had to come, break those seals, release that atom bomb, mind that start in 1990 and start displacing this world. That's why they're in confusion. They're total confusion now, aren't they? See? In derision. Why? Because their minds, because the minds are so much pressure, they can't handle it. They're doing stuff that make no sense. They mess around trying to get this war in Ukraine, what makes no sense because they're going to go and they're going to spark a nuclear war over that. I mean, who can win that? But they don't see it because they're confused. That's said they're in derision. Look at stuff here. The Supreme Court just went with this thing, and they get ready. That's about to explode. That's going to explode any day now, right? Economic problem, right? Inflation. Look at the political, right? Or everything is crumbling because the pressure, their mind is the one supporting the system. And now you got a greater mind that's displacing it. And their minds can't keep up with it. Their minds being crushed. That's what you're seeing, brothers and sisters. Hold on, brothers and sisters. Anybody there? Excuse me. Yeah, just had a visitor. Anyway, brothers and sisters. So this is what's happening right now. This is happening right now, see? Their whole world is being imploding, being crushed, like a meteor hit it. That's what angels doing. It ain't happening by itself. Yeah, I don't care whether you believe it's an angel or not. It's happening, ain't it? So if that ain't the call, you figure out, well, I don't care. We know where it is. And nobody's telling you, come over here, give me money, follow me, nothing else. I'm just telling you facts. It's up to you if you are uploaded or not. Free gift. We ain't charging anything. You had to pay me anything. I ain't asked for anything. I asked you to follow me, nothing. It's a free gift. But if you don't want it, you have to take it. It's upload. It's your mind to upload. It's your mind to upload to get through the time of unprecedented trouble. You already been prepared. That's the Holocaust was supposed to prepare you. See, the Holocaust was so much pressure, it made turn you to diamonds, which made you the hardest substance known to man. That means it prepared you to walk through the time of unprecedented trouble, right, without a heart, hair on your head being harmed. And you were able to do it because they thought they was hurting you, but they actually turned you a diamond. And not only that, but they made you so, they prepared you for a time of unprecedented trouble they're not prepared for. So now they're crumbling, they're nervous, they're scared. Now it's time for us to laugh at them. All right, it's not going to laugh at them now because they laughed at us. Oh, y'all niggas, look at them dumb niggas. They listen to Doc Shabbat, look at them. They ain't got nothing. They got a name, they got nothing. Look at them. I told them not to listen to Doc Shabbat. We should have did it my way. See? And all the nation laughed at us, spectator seats. They laughed at us. Look at them niggas. See, man, they said Doc Shabbat, told Doc Shabbat that wasn't going to work. Look at them. They nothing. See? And now we turn to diamonds. And now we can walk through fire without being burnt. That's talking about Daniel, right? The furnace. Assuming, but if you throw a diamond in the fire, it's going to burn. I don't care how hard it is, it will burn just like coal will. So you want to throw yourself in the fire, fool, then go ahead and do that. See? That's self-imposed energy deprivation because they can't destroy you now. They only teach you to destroy yourself, and that's what they're doing. I mean, don't pay attention to that stuff, man. Go party, vape, all that stuff. That's self-imposed energy deprivation. So if you want to unwind, like Quran says, why would you unwind after you want? After you, like the one that unwinds itself after it's wind itself strongly, have you already turned a diamond? Now you're going to burn yourself up? How does that make any damn sense? You went to the Holocaust, you transformed a diamond, then you're going to throw yourself in a damn fire and burn yourself up? How does that make any sense? It don't cost you anything? What have you to lose by loving up below the angel? What could possibly have you to lose by doing that? Anyway. I think we're about there, brothers and sisters. So this is the angel. See? The angel, because we're getting rid of the old world, make all things new. Bring it back into paradise. See? Back to paradise. That's our mind. Bring it back into paradise. Bring it into paradise. Because the earth says Earth's gonna be a paradise. We manufacture off planet. We're not gonna have manufacturing here. Paradise, beautiful paradise, beautiful, perfect. No weather problems, anything. There ain't be no weather, any differentials. They're gonna be a weather problem in a part of the planet where the devil's gonna be locked in, and way north in Europe, where they call like Siberia around there. That's gonna be their hell. They're gonna be locked in there, and they're gonna have a suffer. They're gonna be suffering. They're gonna enjoy a lot of energy just like us. Cause we get as the universe contracting, we get a burst of energy approximately 50 years, and now we're in the midst of. Because it says there's momentous in the heavens and earth, but it come above us sudden, right? So that means it has to be absorbed by the earth and converted to a form we can use. And that's the process happening right now. So we're about to get that breath. So we would transform in a twinkle of an eye. But they're going to get it too. See, but like they took us and they control. See, one reason we had to get rid of them because they control the quality of our energy. They can't control how much energy we get, but they control the quality of it because we all get the same amount. See? But they control the quality. So in other words, they give us the shit. They give us the $1 million shit farm, while they got the $1 million gold mine. Still worth $1 million, but it's one shit farm. And one, see what I'm saying? They control it. So we're gonna return the favor. See, because we're gonna have so much. It says quality. They're gonna have so much energy, right? See that if the skin is burnt off, we give them new skins. They're so healthy. They heal just like that. They can eat shit and not die from it. They can drink piss and not die from it. You see? And that's what we're going to do to them. We're going to put them up there, lock them in, where they can't get out. I said, strong angels lock them in, right? See? And there can be a pressure differential between us and this. But that, remember, the pressure differential, lightning goes one way, right? It don't go up, it goes one way. So all lightning bolts stuff is going to be hitting them. So that's only be pressure differential on the planet, right? Hail, snow, everything going to be tearing their ass up in there. They're gonna be there, no manufacturing, no family ties. They're gonna be nobody's gonna be friends. Everybody gonna be alone. Everybody be scared to death, right? The only thing gonna be eating shit and piss, and not gonna kill them. And they be healthy and youthful because they gonna get all this energy. That's a hell of a place to be in that situation. It says, like Jesus says, that worm will not die means that sexual desire will not be satiated. They can't, like rabbits. They chasing each other. And they be scared, and women be shaded running from the men. They hot too, right? But they know if they get caught, they get eaten. So he's gonna be biting on them while if they get away, it's gonna heal up. That's the hell they got going for them, and they ain't coming out of it. See, so we return the favor. So now you force us to eat chitlins, force that out our throat. Now that's all you guys eat is chitlins. You see? Because your hunger gonna be so great, you're gonna eat anything. See? What about that, Farrakhan? Because some of your folks gonna end up in there. Okay, Bones, I think that covers it. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not going to any afterwards because like I said, it wasn't as long as I thought, but it's long enough. We leave it there, Bones. I hope you understand. Right? Let me know if you have any questions. I think I covered enough for anybody that want to understand, can understand. Because you got the mind to understand, that's for sure. Okay. I'm going to leave it there, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.